What's up, guys? It's your boy J Mecha here, coming at you with another deck tech for Season 5, or first Season 5 deck tech. This is my Chandra Nalaar deck tech. So, there's a lot of hype coming into the season. There's a lot of crazy new cards that are in the season. Notably, if you haven't looked at any of the spoilers, notably there's Dark Ritual, Necropotence, Rafello's Llanowar Emissary. But the card that really got me hyped for this season is our very first Planeswalker that's legal. It's Chandra Nalaar. Heralded as one of the worst Planeswalkers. I don't think it's actually the worst. I think actually Chandra Blaze is much worse than this. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, and the thing is that repeatable effects are really good. Like in the seasons past, we've had things like Hammer Bogart. I'm sorry, Hammer of Perforos, which is like a repeatable effect. It has an everlasting effect of giving creatures haste, and it can make a creature every turn. That's pretty good. And if you look at other decks that had repeatable effects, they're pretty good. And I'm trying to show you that this is a good card for Penny Dreadful. Just don't ignore the fact that never really seen standard play ever, or modern play, or any sort of other format play. But this is the format to play it in. It's our first Planeswalker, and she's great, especially when you can get built around it. So what I've done is kind of made a sort of red control deck, basically just killing everything in my path, landing a Chandra Nalaar, and just letting her do her job, which is killing my opponent. So we're just gonna dive right into the deck list. We'll start with the land base. 24 lands, 22 mountains, and a Dread Statuary, just because I didn't want 24 mountains. I just needed other things to do. This is kind of a guy, he can block a pro red creature or something like that. And just I don't have any creatures. I only have one creature in the main deck, so this land can just act as a creature to kind of finish off my opponent. Everflowing Chalice, just to kind of ramp into kind of the heavier spells. We're actually a very mana intensive deck, and the Chalice actually combos with another card that we'll talk about later, which is really good. And then just a slew of burn spells. The whole deck, like I said, is just about one-for-one-ing your opponent, and then trying to get some card advantage with this card here, Commune with Lava, which exiles the top X cards of your library, and then until your next turn, end of the next turn, you get to play those cards. So it's kind of like drawing a bunch of cards, but not really. And the cool thing that I kind of learned was that it's onto your next turn, so you could play it on your first turn, on your turn to do it, or you can do it on someone's end step, which is the best play to do, really, which I usually do. But if someone has a discard spell, like a Persecute, this is kind of a way to get around things like Persecute, things like that. Or if you just have nothing better to do, you just commune. You just commune on your turn. If they have some sort of effect where you have to discard a card the Black Shrine, something like that, it's a good card. So, like I said, the deck is just pretty much filled with burn spells, so Burst Lightning is kind of the most mana efficient here. Pyroclasm is a new card, kind of kills all the weenie creatures that are around, especially in the very first weeks of the season. You get a lot of aggressive creature decks, and Pyroclasm is so good for that. It's probably one of your best cards against them. Incinerate, another new card, strict upgrade to Lightning Strike and Searing Spear, so that gets a nod here. Volt Charge, there's a lot of things that you can proliferate with. One being the Chalice here, two being the Nalaar, obviously, and three being this little guy, Skargan Firebird, which I'll just talk about right now. It's a kind of combos with Chandra. Chandra's Phoenix, sadly, is not in this season. So we have to do Chandra Phoenix's uncle, which is Skargan Firebird, which lets you return it back to your hand as long as you dealt damage to them. So guess what deals damage all the time? Chandra. But it kind of combos off with it. The only creature in the deck. Hopefully it works out. Actually, I haven't tried it yet. I kind of threw him in here. It used to be a Devil's Play, but Devil's Play was kind of lacking in power level, so I wanted to try this out. It also has Bloodthirst, so you ping with Chandra, get back to Firebird, and then cast it and have a 6/6. Assuming that you have 9 mana, which is not that hard, especially with Chalice and Volt Charge. And Volt Charge also deals 3, which is a perfect number for most decks. Hammer Burgardens are actually actual main kill conditions, not really Chandra. It's more about Hammer. Because once you establish control, then you just kind of want hammer over and over again. Chandra we already talked about in depth. It's pretty much good. Obviously, it goes up pings your opponent. Not that much for one. The X is actually the most relevant thing. It's kind of just like a really expensive FTK, especially, and it starts at 6 loyalty, which is really good for its price. So for 5 mana, you could just like kill a 6/6, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. And the -8 is like really the way I kind of kill people. You just kind of like super flame wave them, and you just like take like half life total away. It's pretty great. Pyromancer's Gauntlet is another card that kind of like speeds up everything. It does reference red planeswalkers, aka Chandra, or any of our other red spells. So this makes like Pyroclasm like a Wrath, more or less. It makes Hammer like a serious 4-turn clock. It just does everything great. So that's why the deck is kind of filled with these instants and sorceries. We're talking about Communal Lava, Firebird, and moving to the sideboard, got a lot of different things. So the most popular deck is obviously the Necro deck right now. I think it's like it could be the best deck right now. Like the deck lists are not really like fleshed out yet. So my separate plan against them, because a lot of things like aren't really that good, is to kind of like transform the deck a little bit to kind of a more aggressive red deck. But they don't see any creatures. Like maybe I'll just like take all my creature removal. So you just kind of like do a switcheroo here. So we got like 6 1-drops and Rakdos Cackler and Stromkirk Noble, all comboing with Volt Charge. I had a funny practice game where I went turn 1 Cackler, turn 2 Cackler, both unleashed, and then my opponent transmuted a 3-drop for a Drown in Sorrow. So next turn I untapped and I Volt Charged them, and I pumped my Cacklers to make them 3/3s, and they died. So that's pretty great. Total Trouble is the other like kind of anti-necro card. Just we're kind of only casting the trouble part, where it deals damage to a player equal number of cards in their hand. So usually necro players, I don't know if they're like being greedy or just, I mean, you want to always get up to 7. So like you play a necro, you just always want to get back to 7. Those kind of punishes them for that. Especially if they have play like Spellbook, which I think is awful. I'll say that right now, it's awful. And they go up above 7. That's when trouble gets really good. Smash Smithereens, a strict upgrade to Smelt. Problem artifacts are things like Ivory Tower. That's kind of annoying out of the Necro decks. And just like whatever random artifacts. I can't really think of much right now. Actually, I don't know if Dragon's Claw is legal or not. I haven't done that much research yet. This is literally my first deck I've built, by the way. I've just only been working on the Chandra deck, so I've only been looking at things for Chandra, not really against. Extra Pyroclasm for the Weenie decks and like token decks and things like that. Tokens is another really good strategy that could be viable. And then Museum Orders, another kind of like early burn spell or pseudo wrath late game. Because that's what we kind of always run on more wrath. So all we do is like control the board. So really excited about the deck. I've been like I said, it's the only deck I've been working on, and I think I've got a really good list for like what's going on right now, especially with like the Necro decks and the aggressive decks and the Rafellos decks. They're all really good. I think they're all like really good matchups. I mean, do I think this deck is a contender? Kind of, yes, but it takes a little practice to play. You just gotta like remember to kind of like control your opponents, control the board. But yeah, we'll see how the matches go. Like I said, I've played a couple games, and I feel like this list is like pretty solid. So let's just see how it goes.